Welcome in to Drew's Daily Diamond for Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. I am Drew Martin breaking down the slate of games. We've got some day action, primetime game, and some West Coast games coming your way. So feel free to comment below in the comments section where you agree, where you disagree. Your MLB picks for today, all is welcome. We got a contest we're laying out as well, guys, so stay tuned for that. We got first game up. Heading to the Motor City here, the Detroit Tigers and the Miami Marlins. Trevor Rogers versus Casey Mize is the pitching matchup. Tigers minus 160, home favorites, 8 in the hook being the total. We get the Marlins just 12-32 on the season. Been a dismal year for the Fish. Up against the Tigers, 500, 21-21. Casey Mize, he's a guy that's top-notch talent, former first-rounder, first pick overall out of Auburn, the former War Eagle here. A really positive home-road dichotomy. He's pitched very well in Comerica. He's up against Trevor Rogers here, who's 0-6 on the season with a 6.5 ERA. His advanced metrics, FIP, xFIP, things of that nature, a lot better, FIP in the 4s. And his last 2 starts were against the Philadelphia Phillies and the Oakland A's. If you're going by May stats, the 2 hottest lineups in MLB. So I think he's taken a little bit of a step down in class here against this Tigers offense. Sidewise, I thought this one was tough, guys. I really did. I mean, I think minus 160. I think Mize is the better pitcher here. I just think the 60 cents here is a little bit pricey on the Tigers, especially because the Fish, dismal season, but they have cashed 2 of their last 3 games and both plus 160 and plus 180. So they've kind of been a little bit of barking dogs here. I'm going to lay off the side, but we get this total here at 8.5. Little juice, minus 118 towards the under. These 2 teams just finished the game yesterday 1-0, 1 total run scored. I think it's something similar, maybe not 1-0, but 3-0, 4-2, something of that nature. I wouldn't be surprised if this 8 in the hook gets taken out and doesn't last too much longer, guys. But we got it here at the 6 a.m. hour on the East Coast for Wednesday. We're going under in Comerica to start us off between the Fish and the Tigers. Heading to the Chicago, the Windy City for the next one, South Side here, 2:10 Eastern start. It's the Washington Nationals and the Chicago White Sox. Garrett Crochet going for the Sox and Patrick Corbin going for the Nationals. So 2 southpaws going at it. 8 being the total, minus 140. That's the White Sox as the home favorite. The Sox haven't been laying 40 cents north of that many times at all this season. I guess up against the Nationals, a game under 500. White Sox 13-30, another team that has had a rough go of it. They are 5-2 their last 7. But we've talked about it before on the show when Crochet pitches. He's a 6'6", 230-pounder throwing from the left side. And he's a guy that throws 97 miles per hour, 3 straight starts, 2 earned runs or less. His last time out, he went 6 innings, blanked the opponent. That was the Cleveland Guardians, and 11 strikeouts and 0 walks. When we get a guy, with that type of profile coming off of a start where he had 11 Ks and no free passes, the market loves that. The odds makers know that. That's why the White Sox are going off as minus 140 price tag. And I wouldn't be surprised if they take more money. I just don't want to lay, again, it comes down to price here, guys, and laying this number with the White Sox just kind of isn't my mojo anyway in the handicapping world. Plus the fact, the Washington Nationals, a pesky team overall, one of, if not the most profitable team in all of baseball. And Patrick Corbin, his overall numbers are not very good, near a 6 ERA. He's just 1-3 record-wise. But his last time out, he looked pretty good. 5 innings, 1 earned run in Fenway against the Red Sox. Now up against the White Sox lineup that's last in terms of overall weighted runs created plus team OPS for the season. They're also last against lefties. I actually think this is another one, guys, where it's lower scoring than the market is predicting here. We can get 8 minus 120. It's a wraparound game, meaning, this is the last game of the series, getaway day, if you will. Both teams have an off day tomorrow. So it's the same profile as the Marlins and the Tigers here, guys. I think this is a quick game. and we don't get to 8 runs. I think this is another one, 3-2, 4-0, something of that nature. So we'll go first 2 games here to start us off. We're going under 8, -120, and the Nationals and the White Sox. We'll head to the Pacific Northwest for our next day game action. It's 4:10 Eastern, 1:10 local time. Kansas City Royals, Seattle Mariners. Alex Marsh and Woo going for the M's. -140, that's the Mariners is the home favorite. 7 in the hook being the total. 2 teams over 500. Actually, the Royals 26-18 on the season. And Marsh, their starting pitcher, he's the second most profitable pitcher in all of baseball. He's 3-0 on the season, but when he pitches, the Royals really win. And he's got a 2.5 ERA, only 1 earned run, and the last 3 starts combined. So he's riding a hot hand here, guys. The former Sun Devil out of Arizona State. And up against Woo, he's kind of a tricky handicap in himself. You know, a guy with a lot of potential, a high ceiling guy, but he's only started one game this year. He was on the IL with a forearm issue, so not a lot to go off of. It was up against the A's. He did go 4 innings, 0 earned with 3 strikeouts. I think this Kansas City Royals offense can do enough here, guys. I really do. They've been better against righties. We get Marsh on the hill, second most profitable pitcher in baseball. We'll ride that trend here. Royals plus $1.25, plus 125 on Kansas City as the dog is barking. 4:10 Eastern for our next matchup, the Colorado Rockies and the San Diego Padres. It's Alex Gomber, the lefty, going for the Rocks. Michael King, the former New York Yankee, going for the Friars. -240. That's the Padres as the home favorite. Total of 7. Don't look now, but the 14-28 Colorado Rockies are the hottest team in baseball, winning 6 straight games. Man, I'm not jumping in front of the Rocks, and I'm particularly not paying -240 to do so. The Padres, a game under 500 here. They've lost 2 straight to Colorado, and they're 5 games under 500 in Petco, playing at home for whatever reason. They've struggled a little bit. They're also just 2-4 against the Rocks on the season. So something to watch there. Speaking of Michael King, the Padres starter, back-to-back starts with 0 earned runs, but the last time he faced Colorado, it was a rough start. It was in late April. He didn't make it out of the 3rd inning. He gave up 8 hits and 6 runs in that game. I think Colorado's the side here, guys. Plus 215, risk 100 to win 215. If we get this one, this would be really nice. And speaking of Alex Gomber, their starter, 4th rounder in 2014 out of FAU, the former Owl. 3.4 ERA, 0-2 on the season, but his last 2 starts, just under 13 innings completed and 1 earned run combined in those 2 starts. And that was on a solo home run. So outside of 1 swing, he's blanked his last 2 opponents. The Rocks bullpen has thrown a lot better of late. I think this 215 is a little bit too high, and we're going to jump on it, guys. Plus 215 on the Rocks. Big underdog barking in San Diego on Colorado. Got 2 games left here, guys. It's the Yankees and the Minnesota Twins. Next one up, 7:40 Eastern start time. Marcus Stroman versus Pablo Lopez, the pitching matchup. Near pick'em price tag. Looks like the Twins, slight favorites, -115 at home, total of 8. Yankees, number 1 in the AL East, on top of the division, 28-15 for the season. They've also been road warriors, 15-9 outside of New York. They've won 2 straight. They're 8-2 their last 10. They're playing really good baseball. They got Stroman on the hill, former first rounder out of Duke, 3.8 ERA, kind of up and down this season. Some starts good, some not so much. He does have 22 walks, which is a little bit worrisome. Pablo Lopez, kind of a similar profile here, 3.8 ERA. He's pitched up and down as well. He's been good lately, but he's faced a lot of weaker lineups. I think going up against this Yankees lineup here, second best in baseball, really, by overall metrics. You know, OPS, weighted runs created. The Yankees just won 5-1 yesterday. The Minnesota Twins did have that 12-game win streak, but they've lost 2 of their last 3 here, guys. I think it really adds up to the Yankees. I think they should be short favorites here. I think the wrong team is favored. Yankees with a big bullpen edge as well. I think the Bronx Bombers get to Lopez plus 102, risk 100 to win 102 on the Yankees. Guys, got the recap here, and I know some of you guys in the comments you like the recap. And I didn't recap yesterday's video because I filmed Tuesday's video when the Monday games were still going on, so I didn't know the finals. But on Tuesday's show, we went 3-4, minus 40 cents. We did hit a couple dogs to keep it down, but still slight loss, minus 40 cents. And on Monday, also 3-4, minus $1.70. We lost with the Orioles as the favorite, unfortunately. So slightly down to start the week. But since the start of last week, if you remember, last week was really good. We are 27-22, plus 6.2 units since last Monday. We got one game left, but guys, kind of a special here. I mentioned it at the top of the show. We got our first contest for Drew's Daily Diamond. So it really helps the commenters below for 25 free wager bucks. If in your comment you write best bet, you got to spell it out, BEST space BET, and then put your best bet with your username. YouTube algorithm here will go through and select one at random, and you win 25 wager bucks. So that's all you got to do in the comments below, guys. Is just put best bet with your best bet and your username, and you are in the contest for the 25 free wager bucks to use however you want on the website. So go ahead and fire away in the comments below. And of course, questions, your MLB picks, more than welcome in the comments below. Also, let me know where you're watching from. Anywhere cool. Always like to see that, guys. I'll be in there answering any questions. We got last game up here, guys. West Coast degenerate special, if you will, because it is the St. Louis Cardinals and the LA Angels. Angels just 15-28 on the season. Cards 18-24. The Redbirds last place and likely the weakest division in baseball. They got Lance Lynn on the hill up against Griffin Canning. 8.5 being the total, minus 120. That's the Redbirds as the road favorite. Lance Lynn, 37-year-old out of Ole Miss, the running rebel here, throwing 92 miles per hour, not as fast as he used to throw. And a guy that throws a whole lot of fastballs. He has given up 5 runs in each of his last 2 starts. So 10 runs being scored on him in 2 straight starts, not throwing the ball too well. The Cards have won 3 straight, but before that, they were on a 7-game losing streak. So just 3-7 their last 10. I don't really like this Cardinals team, guys. I really don't. I think that this is another one. The wrong team is favored because Griffin Canning starting for the Halos here. Last week's video, we actually faded him, and he looked pretty good. You know, I remember watching that game in my notes. He looked a lot better than I thought he would. He went just under 6 innings, blanking the Royals, actually, only giving up 3 hits. And in his last 2 starts, he's just given up 2 earned runs combined. So he's riding a little bit of a hot hand here, throwing a lot better. I think that 5.7 ERA for him is a little bit misleading. And I think this Angels team at home catching a plus 105 price tag, risk 100 to win 105 is worth a shot in the late night special here. So we'll go Cardinals, Angels. We'll jump on the home dog here, the Angels plus 105 price tag, guys. That's going to do it for Wednesday's Drew's Daily Diamond. Stay tuned for Thursday's show right here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. And remember the contest below. Best bet with your best bet and username. You will be entered. Feel free to fire away any questions and smash that like button if you're liking the content, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Cash those tickets.